For Black History Month, Neighborhood TV set out to find local change agents making a difference in the community. And thanks to the Kannapolis African American Museum and Cultural Center, we found Dr. Yvonne Tracey in Salisbury.
Well, I'm a New Yorker, tough, arrogant sometimes, but guess what? Love people, love to serve.
Her love for serving started at a young age while attending St. Francis AME Zion Church in New York.
Pastor preached really hard, and I was only like about 4 or 5 years old. And when he finished preaching, he was asking for people to come up and give their life to Jesus Christ. So for some reason, I got up from my pew, and I went up front, and he says, "Oh, Yvonne, why are you here?" I said, "I'm here because you asked me to come."
Dr. Tracey says she knew at that moment the church would play an integral part in her life. The oldest of 6 girls, Dr. Tracey is a leader and achiever. The daughter of a seamstress, she was raised by her maternal grandmother.
She just sprayed us and lured us with gifts all the time.
At the age of 16, Dr. Tracey lost her mother. She describes it as a difficult time in her life.
I was at the hospital when she passed. It was very traumatic. To this day, I still suffer from walking into a hospital without feeling weak. But I've overcome a lot because of my faith.
As time went on, she found a mother figure in her mentor, Dr. Betty Stith. Stith was a church secretary and the first woman president of the Connectional Lay Council. She trained Dr. Tracey on the ins and outs of the church, skill sets which came in handy later in Dr. Tracey's life.
But she trained and brought me up that way, so she was definitely my #1 mentor.
After growing up in New York, it was time for a change of scenery. Dr. Tracey traveled south to attend Livingstone College and HBCU. After 1 year, she left, but years later, she returned to serve in a top position. Dr. Tracey went on to receive a bachelor's degree from Iona College in New York. Later, she attended Hood Theological Seminary School and earned a master's. And because of her work in the church for so many years, Dr. Tracey was bestowed with a Doctor of Humanity in Nigeria.
That is one of the degrees I really cherish because it represents the work, the ministries that I've done, not only home but overseas.
In 1969, she joined Kraft Foods and helped establish the Ethnic Marketing Food Program. She learned skills which she still uses now.
That gave me a niche in terms of attention to detail and explanation. And that carries with me today so that I don't have any problems going through connecting the dots and reading information to make sure that I'm prepared to be able to present or to answer questions about something.
After 30 years at Kraft Foods, she retired and found herself back at Livingstone College. She became Director of Career Services, Dean of Students, Vice President of Student Affairs, and she was the Special Assistant to the President. In 2008, Barbara Scotia College called, asking her to take over the VP of Student Affairs position, and she quickly rose to a higher position.
2015, the board voted for me to be the interim president or the president of the college. So I served as president of Barbara Scotia College.
After leaving Barbara Scotia, she remained dedicated to her passion, the church. She's currently a member of Soldiers Memorial AME Zion Church in Salisbury. She's the church secretary, serves on the trustee board, and sometimes teaches Sunday school. Dr. Tracey is also the president of the District Lay Council, where she provides vision and leadership.
I don't have any fear at all of speaking out to making sure that our church has its temporal affairs are in order.
When she's not in the church, Dr. Tracey educates her family about their history. She showed us the original slave papers from relatives on her grandmother's side.
And this one was for his brother, who was also George, that was also free, and it described him. So these are very precious documents that I've had and be able to share with the family.
Dr. Tracey is teaching the younger generations in her family to recognize their history. She hopes to leave a legacy and encourage them to succeed.
And that's what legacy is all about. Not that what you've done, it's what you've inspired others to think about doing. With God's help, I will succeed.
For Neighborhood TV, I'm Jessica Willis.